Hello everybody, welcome to Take 2 Reviews at episode 6 of the Flop Files. Oh boy, do we got a good one. Oh, this is a good one. This is the one I've been waiting to do, because God, I felt my gut knew what to expect, because I've never watched it till this first time, but I knew what to expect. I knew what to deliver on. I knew what I was going to get, and oh, did I get it. Fucking spades, ladies and gentlemen. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing the VelociPaster. It is directed by Brendan Steer. It had a budget of $36,000. It has 65% tomato meter. It has 76% audience scores. There's no way that can't. These people are on drugs who wrote this. That's offensive. If you gave this a 6% audience score, I say that's fair. This is awful in every way you can think of. But it's almost like Shark Exorcist, actually. It's by the same people, I believe, when it comes to Red Eye Films, I think is what it was. And this is a special type of movie. This is one of them special type of movies I talk about with Shark Exorcist, where you will never find shit like this again. You will never find it again. You'll never find this again. This is awful in every beautiful way. It's the only thing, because I'm going to show this now. I'm going to show this now to y'all here, okay? It's number 2. It's number 2, as I thought it would be when I said this was the one. If you watch my past ones, I told everyone about that there was one I believe would be at number 2. VelociPaster. Because it doesn't beat Shark Exorcist. It was so close. The only thing that Shark Exorcist makes it the worst movie I have ever watched, and the reason it's still the worst movie is because I actually could at least make out a story of sorts in the VelociPaster. Where in Shark Exorcist, I actually don't know a fucking thing going on. I have no clue what the fuck's going on in that movie. So, it's not as good as Shark Exorcist. It's not as bad as Shark Exorcist also. So, we immediately start out in this movie talking about, well, with the pastor. His name was Douglas, I've come to find out. And Douglas, we started off with him talking to people in the church. I believe it's called a seance. Actually, that doesn't sound right. Hold on. No, okay, that's definitely not what I was saying. It's I'm a fucking idiot. It's him talking to the people in the church. I don't remember what it's called for the fucking. I'm not a religious guy. I don't know what it means when a pastor starts talking in a church, and don't know if they have a name for it. I thought I was saying that's totally not what that is. But he's talking to people in the church, and then he leaves the church. He does the thing. He leaves the church. This broke me in so many ways when I saw this, because you can't make this up. You can't do this anywhere else but in this movie. When he cuts, and his family are there, and you see his mom and his dad, and he waves to them. And then there's supposed to be a car explosion. But this fucking movie doesn't have the budget for a car explosion scene. It's $36,000. And he doesn't have so what they do is they have a visual effects. They have a thing where it just says VGX for visual effects. Then it just goes, car on fire. Fucking incredible. I'm showing that one because that is beautiful. It is so bad. It is so dumb. It's so stupid. It's incredible, legitimately incredible. This movie, I was only a minute in. I was a minute to 6 minutes in, and I immediately knew this was going to be number 2 on the list. And I had to see if there was something about it that could make it worse, and there isn't. But it's fucking incredible. So the car explodes, and his parents are dead. So then he is crying in the church, and hold on, I need to. What? So the other, I kept calling him the other pastor, Father Stewart. Father Stewart just goes, yeah, it's what parents die. Yeah, your parents die. It's what they do. Like, that's all parents are good for, is fucking dying. And then we have the weirdest... So they don't use visual effects or anything, or editing for the car exploding. But they do for this, where them two are sitting on a bench and they're having a conversation. They're having a conversation, and above them, and then they have this other shot of the two people, the same people, just having a conversation with each other again. But it's the same conversation. It's so weird. I don't know what they were thinking. And he's telling them, hey, you need to travel. You need to go to a church where, you need to go where God won't go. Where the Lord wouldn't go. And I guess to Douglas, that's China. I don't know why it's China, but it's China. And then, just so you know it's China, they put big letters that says China just on the screen, just so you know it's China. And then they zoom in on him, and he just goes, China. And that's just so you really know,
China.
Because you wouldn't know unless they said it a bunch of times. Fucking really making sure you understand the lore and the story here. So then they go over, and so he goes. And then they cut to this woman, this random woman, just running down the, down in the forest where Douglas is also. And she gets hit with a bow and arrow. And the arrow is like right through her. It's from the back, it enters the back, goes out the chest, right where the heart is. Like perfectly. And she rolls down the hill. And then they cut to Douglas, he goes, China. Because in case you didn't forget, China is blessed. And then just BAM! She just is right in front of him. I don't know where the fuck she came. Scared the shit out of me, and also made me laugh so hard. And then they have Douglas. I don't know why they did this. He sees the arrow through her heart and just goes, are you hurt? Like that, no shit, she's hurt. And then, so then she gives him this, I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. The whole time they never explain what the fucking thing is. But she hands him something, and she talks in I'm gonna assume it's Chinese. They're in China. I feel like that's a safe thing to assume. I think that's safe to assume. So Chinese, and tells him to destroy it, or they'll hunt you forever. Is what they say. But he doesn't understand that, and then she just mouths, Dragon Warrior, and then dies. And then he just wakes up back wherever the hell he was, in some point in the States. I don't know where the hell they were, actually. Don't think it's ever said. So then he leaves because he hurts his hand. Oh, and he hits his hand on something and cuts his hand open. And suddenly him cutting his hand gives him the power, we will find out later, to turn into a velociraptor. I don't know how the fuck that works. I don't know what the hell happened that made it, but somehow he was able to turn into a velociraptor now. It's just normal human things. That's totally how logic works. Totally. So, he leaves because the church, Father Stewart just, is weird around him, so he leaves. And then he walks, and he then walks past this, or bumps into this sex worker named Carol, and that's just their only encounter until later in the movie. So then we see her walk over to her pimp named, I'm not joking, he goes by the name Frankie Mermaid. Frankie Mermaid. For reason being that he's swimming in bitches. It was the term, what he goes by, what he is reasoning. It's fucking so dumb. It's so dumb. And Frankie is the loudest human being I've ever heard in a movie. He is so loud in this movie. It is unbelievable how fucking loud this guy is. He is just atrocious in how loud he is. So then we go that scene, then suddenly she's walking at night. Carol is the sex worker. And she's walking at night, and she walks down, and some guy tries to jump her and rob her and all that. And then suddenly, Douglas the VelociPaster runs, takes him down as the Velociraptor. And he fucking kills this guy. I put quotations. Fucking hell, the effects of this are bad. So bad. And so then that happens, he saves Carol's life, eats the head of this guy. He then wakes up in her house. Now, they never explain either scenarios. They've never explained how he gets, because there's 2 or 3 times where he wakes up in someone's place. The first time he wakes up Father Stewart's, and this time he wakes up in her place. They never explain how he got there. One, they saw the Father Stewart one, they explained it was just a dream. He woke up in a dream from whatever the hell he's at. I guess them two lived together since his parents exploded. So, the second one, I have no idea how she got a Velociraptor into her play. I don't understand how that happened. So weird. I genuinely became confused. They don't ever explain it. Douglas thinks they slept together, and then they tease that's what it is, and then it ends up revealing that she just was the one. He was a raptor. She says he was a raptor, and that he did. And he realized that it wasn't a dream. However, the one point he said that so confused me, because she goes, say that you turn into a dinosaur, and he goes, dinosaurs never existed. And if they did, I wouldn't turn into one. Is that an actual belief that either Christians or a group of people have, that dinosaurs never existed? Because I'm pretty sure there's like scientific fucking proof that they existed. So I don't know why that part's here, because I don't know if if that's a belief. I would love to know why people believe that. Very bizarre. I'm actually now just curious. I don't know. It's so... No, I guess it's so... I would have to do some research in order to find the exact... If that's actually a belief, but I couldn't buy it. That was an actual belief, but I was curious to know. So then Carol takes Douglas to go see the body, because she just covered it with leaves. I guess no one found it. So she just shakes him to go see the body of the dude he beheaded. And he's just all taken back. He's also wearing her dress because he has no clothes because he went naked. He went naked as he was when he was the Velociraptor. So the he goes on to explain, and he asks why she covered it up with leaves. She goes, "Look, I'm a hooker. I can't really be getting in trouble for this." And and he fought. So get this. Douglas found out he has turned into a Velociraptor and beheaded a human being. He's now, however, way more offended and angry and disgusted. But the fact that Carol is a hooker, that disgusts him to his core. That, like, she tries to touch him and he's like, "Get your sin hand off me. You should never be allowed to portray someone as righteous as me." Like, it's so fucking weird. His tone is so bizarre for a movie where he just... Like, he just found out he beheaded the guy. Why is the hooker thing... Is that how Christians are? I don't know what Christian is. There Christians that would be so offended that could actually find out they beheaded a human being, and then they also find out someone's a hooker, and they'd be more offended by the hooker than the fact they beheaded someone? Is that how insane Christians are? What the hell? And then Carol tries to convince Douglas to use his VelociPaster skills to get rid of all the bad guys in the world, and he says no, and then runs to church to do confessions. And the person that's confessing to him is Frankie Mermaid, who is still obnoxiously loud. And he reveals in the confession that he killed Douglas's parents and blew up his parents. And Douglas just gets super mad, turns into the raptor, and kills him. Or at least put his hands into the raptors and kills him. Frankly, does the longest overly done scream in history. Fucking hell, this annoyed me so much. Also, this is the part that also did make me chuckle. He never explains what he did to, with Frankie's body. And apparently Father Stewart never finds the body, so I would love to know what he did with it, because Father Stewart is completely taken aback later on when Douglas tells him what happened. So he somehow still, despite that, never knew that Douglas killed a human being in his thing. So when he went into the confession area and there was just blood everywhere, apparently he just never connected the dots. Alright. Douglas then goes to Carol's place to tell her what happened, and he tells that he killed Frankie, and she hugs him and says thank you, because he was the one holding her hostage as a hooker, apparently. And he agrees to help her kill bad guys, and they say they need to come up with a plan. And we get a montage of just them talking. That's it. It just keeps showing me different times they talk to each other. That's it. Nothing else. It's very weird. We then go to the ninjas. I'm going to call them ninjas because they never give us an actual name for these people. Anyone in this group except for one, which we'll get to later. So we have the ninjas. And, the ninjas explain what they're doing, and they explain that they got a thing of cocaine coming. And once they get rid of Douglas, they can rule the world. I don't know what control Douglas has that makes him unable to sell cocaine. But they have to wait till Douglas is dead before they can sell their cocaine. So, I guess, so that's the thing. We then have, then they have a scene, and there's twice this happens, where the villain has this overly long evil laugh scene. Frankie Mermaid had one when he was talking to Carol the first time, and now these guys have one. Why were they needed? Why were this needed? So bizarre. I don't get it. I don't like him. I don't. It didn't need to happen. So, Father Stewart sees him talking to Carol, and apparently that just is the ultimate sin, is because he's talking to a woman. Because I'm pretty sure he does not know she's a hooker. So, Father Stewart just saw Douglas talking to a woman and thought he had sinned beyond sins. So he has to confront him about this ultimate sin of talking to women. So Douglas then tells him what happened, tells him he can turn into a velociraptor. And of course, Father Stewart thinks he's lost his mind and he's possessed. So he needs to get an exorcism. So they have someone come in and do the exorcism, and then suddenly, and I am missing a key point in this, and I don't know maybe if I just missed it. We then got to this random army scene involving Father Stewart, but I don't know what the fuck that has to do with the movie we were watching. I can't figure out how they were connected. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But that happens. Then as they're doing the exorcism, Douglas turns into it starts to turn into the Velociraptor, so he runs away. I am disappointed that he didn't murder the third dude in the room with him, because it was him, Father Stewart, and the dude who was doing the exorcism. I'm very disappointed he didn't kill that person. The ninjas then show up with the goal to kill Douglas, but I don't know the scene that went on, what happened, because it's very bizarre in how it's done, so I don't know what happened. The only thing I do know is they do use the one scene where he's earlier in the movie when he turns into the Velociraptor the first time. They use that scene in this scene also, so they reuse the shot. It's like Shark Exorcist in that way, they just keep reusing the same shot. They only do it once here though. Douglas and Carol, Douglas goes to Carol's place. He thinks he had killed the Father Stewart. I didn't even see him attack him. So unless I missed something. So then Douglas, Carol end up just having sex. So that happens. Then as they're lying in bed that next morning, the ninjas just break in, which fucking popped me. They just break into the window. And then, of course, Carol, the She-Hulk, just has ultimate fighting skills, as you do. So, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if most, hookers can fight with their lives, because they probably have to, most of the time. The fuckers who try to get them. So they beat up and kill all the ninjas. We then go to the actual the ninja headquarters, as I'm going to call it, the ninja headquarters. And in the ninja headquarters, they revealed to have kidnapped Father Stewart. I don't even know if kidnapped's the word. He's not against his will. He's just been taken there, because, he's also missing an eye, apparently. I don't know if he was I don't know what happened to his eye. Because, again, I didn't see Douglas attack him, so. The leader of the ninjas talks, I think in Chinese, I'm going to assume, to Father Stewart, who, and I'm pretty sure, though, that the leader of the ninja can speak English. Because I think he does earlier in the movie. Like, the first time we meet him, so. Very bizarre. Although, again, I might have missed that one. I might have been thinking of the other dude with him. And he could, I don't know. But Father Stewart somehow can understand their language, despite being from America. He can somehow perfectly understand their language. I guess you have to learn multiple languages when you're a pastor, I guess. So they reveal their ultimate plan, which is they want to get. This is actually this is analytical their plan. They're gonna give a bunch of people cocaine. They're gonna sell a bunch of people cocaine. Then they're going to stop cocaine, selling the cocaine, and then people will be so desperate without it that they'll go to help groups. And they'll go to help groups in churches, which will help them then end up part religious. That's the goal of the ninjas. Now, there was so much wrong with this plan, let alone the issues Father Stewart has with him. There was so much wrong with this plan that it doesn't even make any damn sense. Nothing about that plan makes any sense. But he went with it. And that was the plan. And Father Stewart says you can't make someone religious who refuses to be. You can't do that. And then he kills him. So Stewart's dead. Father Stewart dies. Douglas and Carol then show up to attack the ninjas because somehow they know where the ninjas are. I don't know how they know this. They just know where the ninjas are. So they perfectly showed up to their place where they are. And we find out that the the person who can speak English with the ninjas, is Douglas's brother Sam. And Sam says he plans to kill Douglas. So Douglas just kills him with a sword. They fight. Douglas doesn't even hesitate. He drives the sword right into Sam, killing Sam. Doesn't even think twice on it. I'm not even joking when I say that is about the most... I have never seen a brother less hesitant. Like, he gives him, like, oh, it's not too late, you can come with us. He says no, and then he just kills him. Like, that's the goal, like, pretty much how it went. The ninjas then fight Carol and attack her, and you're meant to think kill her. But it turns out they don't, which we'll get to. Douglas, because he thinks Carol's dead, decides to turn into the raptor, the VelociPaster, and kill all the ninjas. And he ends up ripping the head off of the leader of the ninjas. And that's how he ends that. And then he goes, and I guess Carol gets help, and Carol's fine. She's alive. But they tell you, she's fine, is because, again, they just put it on the screen. She is fine. So she's fine now. You don't have to worry about it anymore. She's not dead, she's fine. So, and that's the end of the movie. That's the end of the movie. It is genuinely one of the most fucking weirdest movies I've ever encountered. It's the second worst movie I've seen this year. It was really close to being the first if it wasn't for the fact that I can make out a bit of a story. So because I can make out a bit of a story, it does something better than Shark Exorcist. If it was more confusing, it probably would have beaten it. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this review of the VelociPaster. Let me know what you think of this movie if you've watched it in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help support the channel. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all for the next one.